The film, You See Me, is a film that I started to make when my dad had a stroke in 2004. And then he passed away in 2006, and I thought that was the end of the film. But I started to notice changes in the dynamics in my family after he passed away. So I kept filming and filming and filming, and then 5 years went by, and I never looked at any of the footage. And I think it was because I was afraid that if I looked at the footage, I had been telling everyone I'm going to make this documentary, and I was afraid that if I looked at the footage and it wasn't good, there was no film there. And then I would have to admit to myself there wasn't a film. The other fear was, what if I looked at the film and I started to grieve all over again? Because that whole grieving process is a long-term thing. And then the scariest part was, what if I looked at the footage and it actually needed to be a film? And that was the scary part. And when I looked at it, that's what happened. So it turns out that it's really a journey about my family, I think, dealing with trauma and loss and grief. And in the process, I discovered a lot of things about my family that I didn't know. And so a little bit it's about me rehabilitating the image of the memory of my father. And then the bonus is that while I was working through all this, my mother, who I was never really very close with, we started to bond. So it's a film about, I think, seeing your parents for who they really are. And not as your parents, but as flawed human beings just trying to do their best. Well, the thing that, that's so ironic is, because of the fact that he didn't know his father and that he was so neglected by his mother, family was really important to my father. He just didn't have the tools or the skills, the emotional skills, to show it. But it's interesting because it was clear to all of us that it was probably one of the most important things to him. Work and family. That's what kept him going. And he was more successful in his work world than he was in his family world in some ways. Although, again, we all felt, even though he couldn't express and show his love, across the board, all my siblings said they knew they were loved. Which is so ironic because he couldn't do it in the way that at least I wanted him to be able to express it. Right. I think that what I would like after I screen the film is audiences to reflect on their families. And they don't have to be the same specific circumstances, but I think all families have scars and regrets, and that maybe what this does is it begins a conversation by taking away some of the shame surrounding any of those issues, and gives people license to say it's okay. It's okay to start talking about these things, whatever they are, whatever the topics are that they didn't really want to own. And that to me would be, then it would be a success to share that in that way. That would make, for me, the film would be successful.